Welcome back to the temporary worldwide headquarters of ZeniMax Online Studios. Last month, I got to speak with you during QuakeCon at home. We had a lot of fun connecting with all of you, our amazing community, during 3 days of panels, streams, and lots more. Plus, I got to share the global reveal of our Stonethorn DLC gameplay trailer. Today, we'll give you a first look at everything we have planned for the remainder of the year, and there's a lot. We'll give you a sneak peek at the epic conclusion of the Dark Heart of Skyrim year-long adventure. We've got new free content, updates on upcoming community events, and plenty more. Regardless of whether you've been with us from the beginning or just recently joined us in Western Skyrim, we've got a lot going on to keep you busy in Tamriel. Oh, one last thing. It wouldn't be an ESO stream without us giving away an in-game item. So, for everyone watching live, you'll be able to claim a purple torchbug pet for free. Now sit back and enjoy as we head back to Skyrim for more adventures together.
Nice shirt, Matt. Hi, I'm Rich Lambert, Creative Director at ZeniMax Online Studios. Welcome to my home. Before we dive in, I want to take a moment to personally thank the ESO community. You've made Tamriel your home away from home, and during these challenging times, we're seeing more and more of you playing the game, both new and returning players. That means so much to all of us here at ZOS, as you are the ones that make ESO what it is today. Our year-long journey through the Dark Heart of Skyrim began back in February with the Harrowstorm DLC. Since then, we've released 2 additional updates to the story in Greymoor and Stonethorn. These content drops have taken you to one of the most beloved locations in Tamriel, which is Western Skyrim, and are set almost 1,000 years before the events of Elder Scrolls V. Millions of you have already descended into this dark tale of vampires and werewolves, and we can't wait for you to experience the epic conclusion. The ESO Markarth DLC releases November 2nd on PC, Mac, and Stadia, and November 10th on PlayStation 4 and Xbox One. But before we dive deeper into Markarth, let's take a quick look back at some of the highlights from this past year and how we got to where we are. Don't worry, I promise no spoilers. So much has happened over the past 8 months, setting you up for the final showdown with the powerful vampire lord, Rada al-Saran. With more on how the Dark Heart of Skyrim story continues in ESO Markarth, let's throw it over to lead writer Bill Slavisek and senior content designer Janet Priblo.
So what drives us to Markarth? In the Greymoor chapter, we learned that Rada al-Saran's plans were taking him to the Reach.
This is the Reach, and the Reach people are in their homeland. They're not conquered by anyone at the moment. They're not fighting anyone trying to take over their land. They are in the land that they feel is theirs.
You know, nostalgia is a very important element for a lot of our game because the fans are so invested in what has come before in Elder Scrolls. When they get to Markarth, they're going to get to walk around a city they've seen before, except 800 years later. So this is a different version of that same place. It's going to feel familiar, it's going to look familiar, but it's also different and exciting and full of different people than you met the last time you were there.
It's not like this pristine city that you see in Skyrim, for example. And you see a lot more people with antlers. They love fashion with antlers, so you do see that a lot too. Getting to work and create for the Reach people as just people, not a common enemy you run across everywhere, was one of the most fun things on this release. You end up meeting some Reach people that you work with, and so you develop a relationship with them. There's a character, Arana, who I loved working on this and creating quests around this character. She's really strong. She's also a witch. That is a term of respect for the Reach people for the most part.
The player actually gets to ask the question, "You're really a witch? You're not like anyone I've ever met before." And she says, "Oh, have you met a lot of us in the past?" That was a pretty clever exchange to put together.
One of the people you face, and this time literally, Rada El-Saran. I would call him the big bad of the zone.
He was originally a Redguard sword saint before he became a vampire, and this was eons ago.
Rada El-Saran is not interested in taking over the world. He doesn't want to destroy Tamriel. He doesn't want to wipe out a race of people. That's not his jam. What he wants, it's a very personal quest. It just happens to probably result into the death of many, many people.
We're bringing back Sai Sahan. He is the Redguard, Dragon Guard character from the original main story. He shows up along with his beloved Snow Lily, Lyris Titanborn.
As a designer, you especially like to bring back a character that you might have worked with. And so Verandas, we got to flesh him out further as time has gone on. Our storytelling, I think, has gotten deeper, so our characters get a little deeper, and you find out a lot more about him. Verandas is very old, and as is Rada El-Saran, and then you realize they had a connection, and as you go through the quest, you realize it was a pretty strong connection.
There's a big secret between him and Verandas that goes back centuries. I think that's going to be a really cool reveal as that unfolds as the story progresses.
One of the other big deals is a woman called Lady Belaine, who is stunning, and she knows it. And you have to figure out what her game is as you go through the quest line.
She is an ancient vampire. She is working with the Grey Host because it is in her best interest, not because she believes in Rada El-Saran's ultimate goal and plan.
And like Rada El-Saran, she's not a straight up, she's not mustache twirling villain. She also has very strong reasons for wanting what she wants.
She is a very complex, mystifying character, and when you find out the whole backstory, I think it will be very, very illuminating because it's kind of different from anything we've done before with the vampires. We have a character called the Despot of Markarth. He is a Reachman who has aspirations of being king of the Reach, even though the Reach folk don't like that title. So he goes by the title of Ard, which means king of the fort. We wrote Ard Kadok as a very blustery, no-nonsense, just as willing to kill you as work with you.
And you kind of just want to smack him half the time, and he's always with the pithy, sayings and things like that.
But he kind of grows on the player as the story goes along, and the player earns his respect, and I think the player also gains respect for him as the story progresses.
There is more to the Dark Heart than just this gothic tone, and you will absolutely find out what that is.
You get rocketed right into the story, and it's non-stop action as you try to figure out what the Grey Host is up to in the Reach, why they've come to this desolate land, and what it means for the Reach folk who are caught in the middle of this war that's not theirs.
There's a certain satisfaction to stopping the bad guy, but also having a full understanding of, why this happened. And to me, that was just a great way to conclude a year-long adventure of dealing with vampires and werewolves and creepy dark things and going underground and everything.
Back in January, when we first revealed Greymoor, Pete and I shared some of our own memories of Skyrim. And like many of you, we have very fond memories of adventuring in that world.
And with me in pants, so you know it's a big day,
Now we get a rare opportunity to take our community back to one of the most beloved regions in Tamriel and provide a different look at Skyrim from the perspective of our era. One of my favorite moments while developing this DLC was walking up to the gates of Markarth during our initial blockout stages for the very first time. Seeing this epic Dwemer fortress built into the mountainside and instantly recognizing it from Skyrim was so cool. Skyrim comes to life in a new way, and that continues in Markarth, which takes you to places familiar, but new. Or is that old?
When I first saw Markarth in Skyrim, it was exactly the kind of city I love when I'm playing a fantasy game. Most of the city is actually not even visible. It's beautiful, there's waterfalls and there's citizens walking around and everything looks amazing. And then you go in one of these doors and you realize that this thing goes 70 meters back into the rock wall, and it's all this Dwemer madness. Part of that mystery and storytelling that Skyrim does all over the place, where you're happy to be there, but you really want to know more about what's going on.
When you walk in there, just the sheer scale and verticality of it is out of control. Like, it's nuts. Markarth exists in our time period. It still has those huge dwarven spires and big buildings and walls and stuff. We are kind of harkening back to, the original Skyrim interpretation, but during our time period, it is not controlled by the Nord.
This city that's been abandoned by the Dwemer is now completely overrun or occupied by the Reachmen, who are a bit rougher around the edges.
When we talked about the city of Markarth specifically, we said, all right, this is Markarth, but it's going to look different. We're going to have to get some Reach influence in there.
When they come into this city, they don't get what all this fancy schmancy Dwemer nonsense was about. They want to know why the walls are so clean. Why aren't there some fetishes up there? Why aren't there some markings on that wall? When you get down underneath Markarth, you're going to find out that Blackreach caverns extend all over the whole of Western Skyrim.
Blackreach allows us to show a really alien landscape that contrasts a lot from what we'll see topside.
In the hundreds and thousands of years since the Dwemer have been there, now the vampires have been down there. Now the Reach are starting to find their way down there. And we're finding out more of the story of what the Dwemer were doing down here, and subsequently what the vampires have been doing down here.
The Library of Arthzand and some of the other dwarven ruins in Blackreach are tremendous. Just walking into the library, you can look up and you see stacks of what might have been books or scientific tools and stuff, and the scale of it is really tremendous.
We got to think about and design, well, what would Dwemer academia look like? Would they have just simple walls with a couple of books and bookshelves? No, they would build bookshelves that went 80 meters up into the ceiling, right? Because they're Dwemer and that's the way they're gonna do it. Everything they do is grand. We have an enormous cave. How do we go tall in a cave like that?
And then when you combine that with some of the vampiric architecture that we've developed, it doesn't feel like you're in a cave at all. It feels like you're standing at the foot of this horrific cathedral. It's both sprawling and amazing, but also sort of claustrophobic.
We wanted to make sure that all the visuals were supporting that storytelling of a year-long Gothic, dark adventure.
There are a number of new monsters that tie in kind of explicitly with the plot. They're these dark, inky, shadowy beings. And this is another case where we worked hand in hand with CJ and the art team to develop a new language for, okay, they're not just shadows, right? They're not just skeletons. These are something different.
One of the new creatures we got to do was a massive Dwemer fortress, sort of, a walking insectoid, sort of reminiscent of a rhinoceros beetle.
The Dwarven Dynaster is unbelievable. It's unlike any Dwarven war machine that we've seen before. We've never created anything at the scale of the Dynaster. Going to Skyrim is like going home, but it's like kind of going to home and you get there and the door's already open. You're like, what's going on here? It's home, but something is off, right?
There are intrigues, there are vampires, there are people getting ready to be backstabbed when they think they're about to backstab someone else.
at the end of this story, you'll really have a sense that we've told a complete story, and Skyrim will never be the same again.
So there's a lot of cool stuff to explore in Markarth when it releases November 2nd on PC, Mac, and Stadia, and November 10th on PlayStation 4 and Xbox One. There's about 10 hours of new content in this DLC, in addition to a brand new solo arena. The first one since Maelstrom, and I'm so excited to get in there, learn some new mechanics, and chase some new leaderboard times. We're a few months away from the DLC release, but we wanted to give you an exclusive sneak peek. This is ESO Markarth. If you're eager to get started on the Markarth story, I've got some exciting news. The prologue quest that kicks off Markarth is available today, and it's free for anyone who owns ESO. So even if you haven't started Greymoor, you can still get a taste of ESO's take on Skyrim right now. I love this prologue quest because it brings back an old friend, one you've grown to trust and admire. That's right, Verandis is coming back. And along the way, you will discover a secret about him that kind of turns your world upside down. The ESO community has had a lot of fun with the antiquity system that came with the Greymoor chapter. Antiquities change how you play ESO by ramping up the exploration of the world in search of hidden treasures. It's a great way to go sightseeing throughout the entirety of Tamriel and learn more about the lore of Elder Scrolls. We have our next in-game event kicking off in just a few days, and it centers around antiquities. Get ready for the lost treasures of Skyrim. We're challenging the ESO community to work together to reach a goal. Grab your shovel and your antiquarian's eye because we're asking everyone to dig up antiquities and lost treasures throughout Western Skyrim. The more you participate, the more treasures will be uncovered and the more rewards we'll be giving away. You won't want to miss these in-game rewards either. There's an awesome face and body markings pair, a pet, and if you all hit or surpass the overall goal, you'll get the super cool Antiquarian's Alpine Gallery home and unique house guest. Perfect for showing off all your prized possessions to all your friends. And remember, house guests and character pathing in homes is brand new to ESO. It launched with Update 27, and it's been so exciting to see just how much fun players are already having with it. The event launches on September 23rd on all platforms. You can visit the ESO website to track the community's progression towards unlocking all these goodies, but you will need the Greymoor chapter to participate. With this amazing event, now is the perfect time to jump into ESO. It's Skyrim, it's ESO, it's Antiquities, it's a ton of fun, and we're proud of it. We have a ton of in-game events, activities, and prizes, all in celebration of the amazing growing community within the Elder Scrolls Online. In fact, let's take a look at some of the highlights right now for everything coming your way soon. Yes, we can confirm that many of your favorite in-game events will be returning this year, including Witches Fest, an Undaunted celebration, and New Life. And before I hand the reins over to Gina and Jess for a special ESO Live, a few quick reminders. ESO Markarth is available November 2nd on PC, Mac, and Stadia, and November 10th for Xbox One and PlayStation 4, and anyone with the base game can play the Prologue Quest today. And for those already in Greymore, you can uncover the lost treasures of Skyrim starting on September 23rd. From the bottom of our hearts, thank you again for joining us for this inside look at all the content coming to ESO and the Dark Heart of Skyrim. And thank you for being the best community in gaming. We'll see you all in Tamriel.
You guys want to see my bees? And these are my bees. I love them. I'm not going to open it up because I don't have my suit on.
Beethoven's the one that barks. He went back upstairs to go to sleep, so he's not gonna bark.
Hello. I can tell you more about the cicada killers.
Well, this is the longest I've been outside in weeks.
That is the House of Vintage Doll Heads. I love old doll heads because they're cracked and kind of creepy and weird sometimes, and yet these are things that were probably very much loved in their time.
Does it feel like royalty? Like I'm your servant or something?
She's a fan of the Khajiit. Likes those Khajiit.
No, it's a cheetah.
Yeah, that's the cat people in the game. They're called the Khajiit.
No, they're cheetahs.
Called the Khajiit.
No, they're cheetahs.
Wow, everybody, how amazing was that video? It was great, right?
It was awesome.
We are so excited that we are giving everybody this exclusive first look at the conclusion of the Dark Heart of Skyrim year-long adventure. This has been really special for us. It's been an entire year of Skyrim. There's been these content drops. We had the Harrowstorm DLC, the Greymore chapter, the Stonethorn DLC. And now Markarth is coming up in Q4. So it's been really cool to be able to give everybody this sneak peek of the rest of the year. Before we get
that. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Nope, you go. Sorry. This is what we do in these shows, right?
I loved that last video. Like, we were so pumped. And it looks like from Twitter and Twitch comments, you guys are all too.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. I've been watching chat. We've all been watching chat just kind of on the sidelines, and everyone is just
so fun.
going crazy.
I love the enthusiasm.
So let's just introduce everybody for the next maybe hour and a half. We will be streaming a very special ESO Live on Saturday. I'm Gina, one of the community managers for ESO.
And I'm Jess, also on the community team with Gina.
And we see Finn is here, our lead encounter designer.
The Finninator.
The Finninator. So we are going to give everybody just a quick glance at what we're going to be doing during this ESO Live.
We have a lot lined up here.
We're going to kick everything off. Just a quick recap of the announcements we just made, just in case you tuned in late. If you missed something, we're going to go over everything very quickly. And then we are really excited to let you know we're going to be doing a live walkthrough of Vatashran Hollows. This is the single-player arena that Rich had mentioned in the video that's coming with the Markarth DLC. So Finn is going to walk us through, spoiler-free, and just show everybody what's going on in this arena.
Then we're also going to showcase some of the upcoming items and collectibles in Markarth and Update 28, the all-free base game update for Q4. A discussion of Update 28 base game patch with lead gameplay designer Rob Garrett, who some of you may remember from previous ESO Live shows. And a brief explanation of the upcoming Lost Treasures of Skyrim event.
We have a good show planned for everybody. We hope you'll stick around because we do have some more surprises in store for everybody.
And hey, before we get started, I just want to give a shout out to our global communities who are joining us tonight. For some of you, it's very late, or if you're in Australia, it's super early, and we're so happy to thank you for joining us here during this very special event.
For sure. I have to say, we've been sitting on this arena for a while. Like, I keep forgetting that we haven't actually talked about it publicly yet. So it's so good to just kind of get this out there and see everybody excited about it. We've been doing a lot of setup and preparation. We are going to be using an internal server. Finn is actually at the office right now. We got clearance for him to come in. And you can tell he's not heavy breathing. We got him a good
There's
headset.
not heavy breathing. There's no prank phone calls tonight or today. There's,
We're good to go.
I'm adequately oxygenated, I guess. That's how that works.
Is there somebody standing by with a fan just kind of blowing air?
Yeah, right, that's all it is. That was part of the stipulation. Somebody's with a giant palm leaf next to me.
Got some snacks earlier, right?
Yeah,
Wayne's
I
off
did
screen. You
get-
can't see him.
Yeah, Wayne's off screen. He doesn't have a palm leaf. I'm just kidding. But he is off screen.
All right, so let's just recap very quickly everything that we went through in this video. So as Rich mentioned, Mark Hearth DLC is coming November 2nd to PC, Mac, Steam, and Stadia, November 10th for Xbox One and PS4. Now, this is a story DLC. It's about the same size and scope as Murkmire or Dragonhold. So in this, you're going to be teaming up with heroes from some of the previous DLCs in the Greymoor chapter. You saw in the video, Sai Sahan and Lyris are coming back, which is pretty exciting. You're going to be visiting this new zone of the Reach with Blackreach Underground, which again, you saw in the video. It's about 10 or so hours of quest content. You have 2 new delves, 2 world bosses. That Vatashran Hollow single-player arena is included in the DLC, which is really cool. If you haven't played any of the other Skyrim DLCs or chapter, it's totally fine because you can play these in any order, which is nice. There is a special main quest line that you can complete if you've done the one from Greymoor. So once you get into Mark Hearth, you can kind of complete the whole story. And just a reminder that this is included with ESO Plus. So if you have an ESO Plus membership, you can get access to the Mark Hearth DLC. Now, one thing that we didn't mention yet, you actually don't have to wait long to try this out because it is coming to the public test server this Monday in 2 days.
What?
September 21st.
Yes. So Monday, we will be taking PTS down to update it and get Update 28 and the Mark Hearth DLC up for everybody to try out.
And all these screenshots that you're seeing right now are from the Mark Hearth DLC. They're really pretty, huh?
Oh, you mean this one? There we go. And this one? Rich also mentioned that the prologue quest is available now for Mark Hearth. Anyone who owns ESO, even if you haven't played through some of that Skyrim content, you can play through this prologue quest. So there is a quest starter in the Crown Store. Just look for the House Ravenwatch contract. It's under quest starters. Doesn't cost anything, so all you have to do is head to the Crown Store and grab that free item, which is super convenient.
And then we also mentioned every year we have a big community event in September. So you might remember these from past years. We had a summer fall event. This is similar. It's called the Lost Treasures of Skyrim. And it centers around the Antiquities system. You will need to have the Greymoor chapter in order to be able to participate. But basically, the community can come together to complete Antiquities throughout Tamriel. It's a great excuse to go and visit lots of areas that maybe you haven't seen or you haven't seen in a long time, and dig up antiquities and come together to unlock very special and unique rewards. So we'll have a few more details later in the show. As you saw from the video we watched previously, there's some really cool stuff, including an all-new Nord-themed house and the very first house guest that we'll be bringing into ESO. So we're really excited to have you all try that out starting next week on September 23rd. And also this year's end of year promotion is right around the corner. This is called Tamriel Together. We'll have prizes, community activities, and of course lots of fun for you to take part in all throughout the end of the year. So we're really excited about this one and watch for more details coming next week.
Lastly, we see everybody in chat asking about Twitch drops. When am I getting my purple torch bug? At the end of this stream, we will start sending out all the drops. That is going to include the Torchbug Pet and the Ouroboros Crown Crate. So hang tight. They haven't gone out yet. You haven't missed anything. You don't even have to type anything in chat. All you have to do is make sure that your... Yeah, please stop. All you have to do is make sure that your ESO and Twitch account are linked, which you can do on the ESO website.
Easiest reward to get ever. One other thing I forgot to mention is we also have a guild-based community contest that's going to be coming up probably in October or November. So keep an eye out on the official ESO site for details on that.
What do you guys think? You want to talk about this arena? Is it time?
Yeah. Are people
Sure.
excited?
Let's do it.
I can talk about
You guys
this
want to
arena.
see more about it?
Yeah. First of all, I wanted to show you guys a little bit of, this is Markarth. I'm actually, if you look at the map, I'm actually in Markarth, which is in the
Now
Reach.
they can see it. Sorry, I wasn't switched over yet.
Oh, that's all right. Now you can see that I'm in Markarth. So this is going to seem like really familiar to people that have played TS5 Skyrim.
For this.
But a little bit different. It's a little bit dirtier, a little bit grungier, but it's still going to have, some of the same architecture and stuff like that. So it should seem very, very familiar to people.
And just a reminder that this is on an internal server right now, so you might see some things that either whether they look unfinished or Finn is suddenly floating or he's skipping through something. Like this is all internal.
Exactly.
So it is coming to PTS Monday, so everybody will be able to test it and give feedback. But for this stream,
there's going to be some placeholder art and stuff like that, which is normal for as we do internal stuff. So, yep.
This is a true first look.
Yes.
Markarth holds a special place in my heart because when I did the A Night to Remember quest in Skyrim, this is where I woke up.
Oh, yeah. Nice.
And yes, I was accosted by, I think, a priest.
Now this Markarth is really vertical. It kind of reminds me of Orsinium a little bit, and we saw that in that video before. There's a lot of height to it, which is kind of cool.
Yes, there is. There's tons of height to this.
So pretty.
Yes,
so,
there is.
For Vadashrands, I could show you where on the map. This is the map of the Reach, and if you see, it's down here. I already have the quest because it's just easier if I'd already had the quest. But I will go ahead and travel there. Yeah. So the basic story behind Vadashran Hollows is that this is the location where Reachmen go to prove that they are Reachmen. This is it's a proving ground. You actually take what's called the Vadashran rites, which is the name of the quest in here too. So you are essentially performing the Vadashran rites to prove that you're as strong as a Reachman. There's some important people in this area here. Right over there is the rights matron, and she's the one who's going to give the quest and kind of tell you all about the arena. Then you have some other people in here. This is the Lamentor of the Slain. So what she does is she keeps vigil over fallen Reachmen and fallen champions from the arena. And you could speak to her and get a little bit of information about what she does. Typical for the Reachmen, they're hags. So they hold hags in very high regard here.
Hags?
Hags.
Hag ravens.
Hags. Not hag ravens.
Not hag ravens?
Not hag raven.
I hear Wayne laughing in the background.
Yeah. So this is the Binder in the Dark. She has she has the unenviable job of getting the adversaries that you're going to face in the arena. The Reachmen are not shy about their worship of different Daedric princes. They don't consider it a bad thing, even if more civilized folk might think that certain Daedric princes are bad. They don't kind of hold those views. They just look at them as an existence in a world. So, first of all, you'll get the quest from the rights matron, and then you go in here, and this is called the choosing. So this is the first thing that we're going to see that's different from Maelstrom Arena. So in Maelstrom Arena, you went into the first arena, and then you progress through arena. So in this, it's different. We're actually giving you a choice here. And they have separated out the arenas by Daedric prince that they worship. So you have over here, you have the Wounding. which is dedicated to Moloch Ball. And over here you have Hunter's Grotto, which is dedicated to Hircine. And then finally over here you have the Brimstone Den, which is dedicated to Mehrunes Dagon.
I see people in
So-
chat asking, like, where are all the bad guys? This is just kind of like where you get started. He hasn't actually gone in yet.
You come in here and then you get to choose. So you're performing rites to kind of prove yourself as a Reachman. So that you come in here and you get to choose which arena you want to tackle first.
But
so
it's
you are gonna
all
have to tackle.
it's all part of the same experience, though, right? Like
Right?
you have to do all
Absolutely.
three. It's just whichever order.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. You actually get this. This is where we're trying to inject choice for players, so that for people that do this, they can choose which ones they want to do first. So after you get a little bit of experience in these arenas, you think, oh, this arena is maybe these monsters I'm better equipped to deal with or better equipped to handle. I'll go down that arena path first, and then I'll choose this one over here. So this area is called the choosing. You know, they're not subtle about what they want to call it.
We're actually going to allow you to make
yeah.
a choice right now for everybody watching in Twitch. We're going to let you choose which arena we go into first. We're going to show all of them off equally. But just for fun, which one do you want to see first? So we just put up a Twitch poll. It's only going to run for, less than a minute.
Mm-hmm.
So you can choose between Brimstone Den, which is that the Moloch Ball one?
Yeah, Brimstone Den is Moloch Ball. Hunter's
Hunter's Grotto.
Grotto is Hircine, and the Wounding is Moloch Ball.
I have to say, Hunter's Grotto is winning by a lot right now. So
Everybody
prepare
really likes
yourself.
Hircine. Yeah.
Definitely prepare
Hey,
yourself.
While we're letting this run, a few minutes ago, I saw somebody ask, "Is Markarth a friendly city?" The answer is yes. So
Yes.
this is basically the city hub for the Markarth DLC.
And I think that the part of maybe something that people are going to want to keep in mind as they approach here, the Reachmen have oftentimes been depicted as evil or bad or something like that, but they're just people and they just believe a different way. So the more you kind of disabuse yourself of the idea that all Reachmen are bad or something, the better off you're going to be for this DLC. We're going to explore their culture and their history and stuff, so you're going to be able to see some of these things. This is a good example of one of those things. This is just a proving grounds for the Reachmen to come here and take these rights and prove themselves.
You
I
actually
mentioned
work alongside some of them
yeah,
in the Markarth DLC.
absolutely. I mentioned the Binder in the Dark, and I said that she has the worst job because her job is actually, now that we've been to the choosing, her job is to summon the different Daedra that you will face in these different areas and then bind them to this area. So she has to deal with summoning rituals and stuff like that. So it takes her toll on her. She's had a rough day. Make sure you give her a back massage if you see her, because she doesn't have a good day, is what I'm saying.
I just imagine her being like, "Yeah, I got another one. Yeah,
Yeah,
I know.
Yep.
Yep.
Like, she's like,
Again,
"All right."
Another one."
again.
Every time somebody comes up to take the rights, she's like, "Oh, I'm gonna have to replace all these guys."
All right, so Hunter's Grotto won by an awful lot. It was like 61%
Okay.
of the people
Well, we're
want to
gonna
see
go
that
see
one
Hunter.
first.
We're gonna go see Hunter's Grotto then.
And for anybody that is just joining us now, we are doing an exclusive first look of the new solo arena that's coming with the Markarth DLC. Finn is able to show it on an internal server, so we're going to be going through each of these, I guess we can call them each arena to kind of complete the entire arena, if you will.
I might call them wings, just because that's how we've been kind of describing them. They're wings.
Yeah.
They're not arenas in the same sense as you're going to see right now. They're not arenas in the same sense that Maelstrom was arenas, where you have set like little circles that you're going to fight in and then waves of monsters spawn. This is much more organic as you kind of I'm going to have to use special abilities.
Cheating.
Yeah, cheating. I'm gonna have to cheat here. This highlights right here. This is a good part where we can highlight these guys. You see these like bubble. I think it's gonna look different in each arena. These are essentially gates, and by eliminating these gatekeepers, you open up the gates. And the reason that's important is because in this arena you cannot resurrect in place. You can only resurrect at a way shrine, but as you defeat these gatekeepers and as you defeat bosses, these become your respawn points, essentially.
And what Finn just did, just one-shotting everything, was a dev command.
No, it's really good players. That's what they're able to do. And if you can't do that, you're not as good a player. I'm kidding, of course.
And now we're not
So-
going to be showing like boss mechanics or anything with this. We want
Absolutely
to
not.
leave it spoiler free.
Absolutely not. We're not going to describe kind of how to defeat the bosses or essentially what you have to do. You're all going to see some kind of mechanics go off that you may not understand or might not pay attention, but that's okay. You'll figure it out when you get here and go through this kind of space. So this is where we're approaching the first boss. So each wing has 2 bosses. Pardon me. Each wing has 2 bosses. And then there's a final wing, which we actually won't reveal to anybody here, that has the final boss for the arena. And as you complete each wing, I'm going to do this twice. Come on. There we go. As you complete each wing, it unlocks. You just saw on the center of my screen it said grapple bow acquired. Each wing unlocks a different, what we call traversal method. So it's a different way that you can interact with the world. So because we did here scene, we actually have the grappling bow now. And each traversal method that you unlock, there's the final boss's space over there. I'll give you guys a good kind of view of this space.
Yeah, looks cool. Why don't you jump down there? See what's down there, Finn.
There's a sky shard right there.
Somebody is going to do it.
I need to not tell people that because I believe
Yeah.
after Stonethorn launched, I was in a stream and I said there's a chest in the lava and somebody died
Everyone's
in the
like,
lava
"Really?"
looking for it. Yes. It was,
Let's go. Hey, somebody in chat was asking, with those, with the gatekeepers, you're saying that you resurrect there. If you die if your character dies in this arena, you don't lose your gear or anything, right? You just restart there.
No, you do not lose your gear.
I think, was that Nephis asking to see the weapons? We will show off at least one of the weapons. Yeah.
Yes, we will show off the weapons.
It's coming.
That does highlight, though, that we are going to have, much like the other arenas that we've done, we have ability-altering weapons here. So we have not only that, we also have 3 unique gear sets that drop in the arena as well.
I'm looking
I'll
at
show
chat.
off those.
I'm so glad that other people got major anxiety watching you do that grappling hook.
Right?
Like series. I was just like, oh
So
god.
there's actually things you can land on here. We actually didn't want to kill people just flat out for that, so there's things you can land on. It's more fun to be, to not touch the ground, right? It's like the floor is lava, except in a video game, right?
I definitely
that's so
remember,
fun.
like, when we were going through just practice runs of this, you kept falling in something, and you're like, oh, dead again.
Yes, that was. Why you gotta call me out like that, Gina?
I gotta take my shots when I can.
So Finn, this is the first solo arena since Orsinium, so it's been what, 5 years?
Yeah, like 5 years or so.
This is a big deal.
Yes, it is. It's a big
Wow.
deal, and to kind of put a further point on it, it's not something that when we approached, we wanted to come in and say, okay, we're just going to do another Maelstrom arena. We wanted this arena to stand on its own, to be a completely solo experience and an arena, but different than anything you've done before. So if you saw there, we unlocked the traversal method. We give you a choice at the beginning.
Mhm.
You see that you're actually progressing down a path rather than just sitting in an arena and wait for mobs to spawn and come after you. There's 2 bosses in each wing, but there's all kinds of stuff to look out for and stuff.
Yeah, so this isn't just like Maelstrom 2.0 or something.
Absolutely
it's
not.
a brand
Absolutely
new
not.
thing.
It's a whole new experience.
Yeah.
We'll put it that way. So this is the second boss. This is Radgarak. And again, we're not going to show you anything, but you can see kind of his arena space. Maybe put together some ideas of what potentially would be done here.
And players can be any level to go into this, right?
Absolutely. You can. I think it should reveal no matter what, and you're not queuing in, so we don't have any limits on you entering the arena. You can come in here. There is a normal version and there's a veteran version, and exactly like Maelstrom Arena, the quest will save your progress. So the
That's
minute
cool.
you choose an arena, so that you set the quest, you go into the choosing. The minute you choose an arena, you're locked to that arena until you've completed that arena. And then once you come back to the choosing, you see we've completed Hunter's Grotto, and you can't go back there.
You can take
So
your time learning it if
Yeah.
you want to.
But choosing an arena is important because you're kind of locked into that arena, and once you've exited that arena, you cannot go back.
It is important.
So now we have the wounding and we have the brimstone den. I'll go to the wounding next.
What are those things on the ground?
What are they indeed?
Interesting. Hey, what happens if you jump in the pool of water? Everyone wants you to really jump in.
Oh.
This is actually weirdly, this is the portal to the final arena when it's active.
Ah, see?
So yeah, you can't. It doesn't do anything yet, but once you've cleared all 3 of the arenas, you'll see kind of like if I were to jump in there, it would take me to the final one. I'm not actually going to do that though, so you guys get to figure that out. Now we're in the wounding.
I saw somebody saying choosing gives me anxiety. I mean, amen. Boy, Jess can attest to that. She watches me just try and choose anything during the day is like a battle.
Yeah, right.
It's horrible. Like the brand of something. Like I'm standing in the grocery store. Like, which one do I want again? Like, horrible. Anyway.
So there was a center screen message that popped up that said the monsters in here have gotten more difficult. So as you complete each wing, and then you go to another wing, the monsters get more difficult in those. So it's kind of like if you fight monsters in one arena, it's not going to be the same experience like where you're going to find the easiest arena and then everything else is going to be easier. It escalates in difficulty for the monsters that you're going to be fighting. So by the time you get to the third arena, they're just going to get more and more difficult. So one thing that they've done here is they try to bring in the elements not only of the Daedra that you're going to see, but also the elements of the Daedric prince that it's associated with. So you see there's a lot of these, Cold Harbor assets and stuff like this. You can see a harvester here. She's a gatekeeper and her door goes away. There's some Ograms and Twilights.
Space looks really nice.
I'm getting nostalgic remembering the very first tutorial.
Yes. It's going to have some of those. I mean, that's kind of what we lean on is like all that stuff we did for Cold Harbor too.
Yeah.
And now I am in a spot where I'm not going to take any damage. So that's why you're not seeing me actually take damage. But if you do get hit by those, you actually do take damage. This lady's right here. We're going to run up here to the first boss in this wing, in the wounding.
I saw, it was like a minute ago or so, somebody in chat was asking if you get rewards for doing this whole thing without dying once. Is there some sort of no death?
Oh yeah, we
reward?
have so much. So in Maelstrom it was very limited as far as the achievements you kind of earned. You kind of got the flawless, or you got I did it, right? In this we have a bevy of achievements. We kind of have learned from what we've done with dungeons and trials and stuff like that to really, as much as possible, offer a ton of different achievements for doing this in all kinds of different ways. So each of these bosses is going to have, much like Maelstrom Arena, those power-ups that were in Maelstrom are also in the boss arenas for these. So you have that, and then you're going to have the doing it without using those. I'll leave it for players to explore kind of everything that goes into getting all the achievements. But needless to say, there are a ton of different achievements.
Awesome. I saw somebody asking about hard modes.
Oh yeah.
So
is that a thing?
So unlike arenas, or unlike kind of dungeons where you activate a hard mode, we don't have those really in arena. The hard mode is basically what we try to say is the hard mode is it starts the hardest it can get,
and you're doing it by yourself.
you use the power-ups to make it easier for you. So it's a decision mode of like, oh, when I started fighting this guy and he was just too difficult, all right, in this phase I need to use the damage buff, so I'm going to use that, or I need to use the reflect on this one, or something like that. So we kind of give players that opportunity to make it a bit easier for themselves if they need to, and it starts at the hardest difficulty.
And
there
then
are
not
leaderboard.
using those, not using those gives you a better score.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely, absolutely. Not using those will give you a better score, as well as some other things.
So it's kind of a self-imposed hard
Secret.
mode.
Exactly. Exactly. So I'm gonna tap this guy because he actually spawns another guy, and we need to kill both of them.
But you're
There we
gonna
go.
dev kill
Yeah.
them.
Yes, I did. Okay, so this is the first of the. So you unlock the grappling hook in the Hircine Arena in the Hunter's Grotto, and in here, the wounding, you unlock the ability to use these. These are called wounding portals, and what they are is they're limited time teleports. So
You better hurry then.
you're only going to have access to this for a limited time. There's an extender here that you use.
So
That
limited
was-
time is literally a timer.
Yeah.
It's not based on
Right.
getting to a certain point or anything
Nope.
like that.
It is a timer that counts down, and this refreshes the timer. So what you're doing here, your goal here is to come in here and hit this chain. You hit this chain, and you'll see it teleports you back. So that's what happens when the limited time teleport ends. It teleports you back to where you used it, and then you can use it again. So if you're too slow, you don't extend it enough, it teleports you back here, and then you have to teleport and keep doing it. You know what I mean? So until you can get to that chain and hit that chain.
I log out.
If you log out, if you log out and then log back in, it's the arena has saved your place. So you're still gonna have to. You'll come back much like any save process. Once you've killed the first boss, this is where you would go to, and you still have to do that aspect. You can't not do that.
I'm so sorry. Somebody in chat just said my mouse has been on the screen this whole time. Boop, right there. Sorry about that. Moved. It's also important to note that these traversal methods that you unlock, so the grappling hook and then the one that Finn just showed, this is just in the arena. Like, you don't use a grappling hook in,
Right.
I don't know,
Yes,
Alakir or something.
This is all centered around the arena. They're arena specific, what you're doing. So I hit that chain and it formed this bridge. So now we can keep going through the arena. Hi.
Bye.
Kill these guys. You will notice in this arena these little eyes. These guys. What they do and how to use them are important. So if you were to walk over here, you'd notice that this bridge is broken apart. So you have to come back here and use another teleport here. I'll show you what it looks like when you don't do it right.
Yeah, show us. And also, this solo arena is repeatable. So it's not like you go through it and then that's it, you win. Like, you can keep on doing it over and over once it's completed, which is kind of cool.
Yep.
Try different orders, try to improve your score.
I don't have, so you see it teleported me right back to this thing, and now I have to go back and use it to go up top. So it just brings you back to kind of where you use the portal. It is visible on the buff trackers. I don't have my buff trackers up because I have some like development buffs and stuff. But it is viewable on the buff trackers, so you could see kind of the countdown as you're running through if you have your buff trackers up. And like I said, these little things, these are like halfway moves. These are extenders, so they basically refresh the time.
So why would people want to do this then, other than it
Because
being
it's awesome.
fun?
Why
Other
would
than it
people
being
want to
fun.
do what?
Why would people want to go through the arena? What is the game
Well,
they get other than it being fun?
I mean, I don't know that I have much more than that, Jess.
We develop fun.
Nothing. No.
No, so we have 3 new item sets. We have all new arena weapons. We have leaderboards, so people will be able to test their stuff. There's without giving too much away, there's a lot that this arena has to offer, which is interesting and fun. Plus, you can get the kind of the story element for why is this arena here and what is it doing and stuff. So without giving away too much, there are a lot of cool aspects to this arena that we won't be touching.
Yeah, we're not showing you everything.
No, absolutely not.
And I think we are going to look at some of the rewards at the end.
Absolutely,
of this
I'm gonna take a look at the item sets and the weapons afterwards. So we did that, and you see this bridge forming, and this is going to take us to the final boss.
So
here, or the
once
final boss of this wing.
Once you complete all 3 of these arenas and the final
Yes.
boss, everything resets, and then from that point you can choose which one you want to do again. I saw somebody ask.
So, yeah, you'd have to exit the instance and then come back in. But yes.
Let's go.
Technically.
Yep. So this guy right here is the final boss in the wounding. As Zuzuth.
That gives me VMA vibes right there. I think God, somebody in chat literally just said the same thing.
Yeah, it does look similar, doesn't it? Boop. I booped his nose. So we've cleared the wounding, and then when you come back after this portal to the choosing, there's only one left, and this is the Mehrunes Dagon Arena. The Brimstone Den. Adolin here is a former champion. So you could talk to him and get a little bit more information about the Vadishran's Hollows, or Vadishran Hollows. If you want, I'm not going to spoil any of that information right now. So there again, the Vadishran's might increased. Monsters are now more powerful. And now we go to, again, the Brimstone Den, which is Mehrunes Dagon followers. You got some scamps, lots of lava. I just get the impression that Mehrunes Dagon is just cold all the time. So that's why he sits around lava, I guess.
Somebody needs to knit him a little sweater.
Yeah. Everybody's favorite Daedros, people that have done MA9 might recognize those guys. Oops.
Mouse is back. Oh my God, I'm so sorry, you guys. I keep putting my mouse over there. It's going to turn into a game.
Going, whoop, whoop.
Do you remember, what game was it? It was Mario Paint. Remember that game where you had to swat the little flies? I feel like my mouse is the fly. There it is. Bye.
So we've headed through Brimstone, got through a couple gatekeepers, and now we go to the first boss, who is adorable. It's a magma queen. Look at her.
Aw.
So she's
What
awesome.
noise was that?
What?
I heard some noise. I think it was her sound effects.
She's adorable.
They do have fun sound effects.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, so this is the Magma Queen. She's got a lot to offer here, but I'm not going to show you what. So you kill her. And this is the traversal method that she unlocked. So this is a Brimstone Orb. Those of you that have played Moongrave Fane will recognize kind of how this operates. So the way this works is all this lava out here is extremely deadly. And you wouldn't be able to...
as it should be, right?
As it should be, yes. And you wouldn't be able to normally traverse it, but if you heavy attack this, it puts a safety bubble around you and you take far less damage. So again, it's limited time. You need to run to get to the next one. And then we do this. And now I have it again. And if you're really good, maybe you could make that run from the entrance part to right here. There is a danger with that you won't make it and you'll start to take a lot of damage from the lava. What you did see in a little bit in Hunter's Grotto, and I didn't really show it off in the second boss of the wounding, but each of these traversal methods also play a role in the final boss for the wing. So you're activating these things, you're getting them, it's helping you kind of traverse the space, but it's also it might be important for the final boss. You see this one is shielded.
It might be important.
Might be important.
It's cute.
This is shielded, so you have to kill these guys in order to break the shield. Basically, these are lava boots.
I mean, it's cool. It's pretty helpful, right?
Yeah, right?
I'm getting old school RPG
Yeah.
vibes. I love it.
Yeah. Boom.
Can I
And then
ride
we're gonna
my
see...
mount
Go
through
ahead.
it? Somebody was saying, can I ride my mount through it? I don't think you can use mounts in here.
Cannot mount in here.
Yeah.
It's a good question, though.
It is a good question. So this is the final boss for this this wing, and we are not going to the Pyre Lord. I'll give you kind of like a look at what the space looks like, but you're not going to actually get a chance to to fight him right now, unfortunately. Sorry, buddy.
Gonna boop you down.
Now it says to clear the final arena, and I will go over here. You see how that pool has changed now?
It's very glowy.
Letting you know that you can go in here to the Champions Dais.
And now it's glowing.
Are you gonna
And
do
now
it?
it's going- Nope, not at all.
Ah.
So you can see this on Monday.
Yes, you can. You can find anybody that wants to can find out what happens when you go through the Champions Dais.
It looks so cool, though.
It does, doesn't it? We were going to show off a couple of the weapons. Oh, I have to show off the skin too.
Oh yeah, let's see the skin you got.
So there is a really cool. I got to do it with good lighting. Let's see here. I got to get good lighting to see this.
Push them in.
So this is going to hold on. Let me do the items first so that we can see what this is. Now, of course, this is going to be the same bags you would get on PTS when you make a character. So the helmet, there's a explosive rebuke. Let's see, that's explosive rebuke. There's pestilent host. And there's hex siphoner's sash. So these things are going to do different things, and I will let people that want to take screenshots of this stream and
I'm
push
sure they
those
will.
out
I'm sure they will.
dissect how good those are or not. This is the great sword. It's built off momentum, so it's got a lot of uses for people that use rally or momentum a lot. It's pretty cool. And the Inferno staff is built off weakness to elements. So if you could take a look at some of the skills that we haven't highlighted before, you'll get an idea of what use these things will get, or at least what abilities we're going to be tying into. Actually, I wanted to show the skin.
Look at the outfit you have on, though. That's cool.
Yeah, that outfit. This is the I think Ancient Reach style, or is that what it is? Ancestral Reach style, which is the style for the arena item sets.
Cool.
So, and I will show off the skin. So this is the skin you get.
That's cool.
It's important and it makes sense for the story, but I'm not going to tell you how.
Hey, Fib, do you know what personality you have on your character right now?
Let's see. Breton Hero, I think. I don't know.
Oh, no big deal either way.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
So I saw some questions.
Or something hero, I think. I don't know. Go ahead.
Chat was asking, like, hey, does it actually really matter the order that we do these arenas in? And it does. But I don't know how much you want to get into it.
Into the spoiler territory, it can absolutely matter what order you do the arenas in, and that's all I'm going to say about it.
But you'll be able to try it on Monday on
You'll
PTS.
be able to try and figure out what that means on Monday.
I'm sure people are going to dive right in.
I'm sure.
Get started with their guides.
Yeah. It's going to be exciting. And like I said, normal and veteran are independent, so you'll be able to start in normal, and it'll save your progress independently, whether you're in veteran or normal. And kind of once you lock yourself into an arena, you're locked into that arena until it's complete, and then you can choose others afterwards.
Did you mention the die that people
I did not mention the die.
Well, there you go. There's a die, too.
Yeah, the die is for one of the achievements in the arena, and it is, I think it's the blackest black die we've ever done.
I think so, yeah.
So, yeah, it's a really, really dark black die, so.
Looks cool. Finn, always a pleasure to have you on our stream. We appreciate you.
Always a pleasure to show off this awesome stuff.
Yeah, this looks like a lot of fun. And I love that anybody can go in at any level, test the waters, take their time, learn it, and then go back and do it harder if they want.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah, and again, this is part of the Markarth DLC. So if you have ESO Plus, you automatically get access to this. It will be on PTS on Monday, so you can check it out and give your feedback. I'm sure Finn's team would love to read it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Live stream it.
Oh yeah, good idea.
Absolutely.
Yeah, for sure.
Any and all of the above.
Oh, good question. Are there perfected versions of the sets?
Yes. Yes, there are. If you do this in normal, you get the versions that I showed off, and then there's the perfected versions of the weapons, which are available in veteran.
There you
That is
have
a good
it.
question.
That was a great question. All right. It's all hard to remember everything that we're talking about, too. So we appreciate the questions in chat.
Yeah.
Man, people really want to see that last boss, but you know what? Not going to show it today. We're not going to spoil.
He's right down there.
Oh, what a tease.
He's right there.
Right there.
All right, so we are going to switch gears in just a second, but thank you again, Finn, for
Thank you so much, Finn.
Yeah, no problem.
taking the
No problem.
time,
I love it.
showing this off. I'm sure people are really eager to get their hands on it. But we are going to say goodbye to Finn for now, and we're going to swap gears and talk about some collectibles and some other Update 28 stuff with Rob Garrett. So thank you, Finn. We will talk to you another time.
I like the character wave.
And we're back. And now with Rob.
Oh.
Hi, Rob.
Hello.
Can you hear us okay?
I can. Can you hear me?
Absolutely. We're still doing all these streams from home, everyone. So
Hello,
everyone
yes,
is all
welcome
over the
to
place
my
here.
home. Yes.
So
super excited to be here.
yeah, so Rob has some really cool stuff that we're going to go over in just a few minutes. Do you want to get started with the, I guess, some of the item sets that are going to be in the DLC?
Yeah, we just saw Mike showing some of those, so that's probably a good place to start.
Yeah.
So yeah, update 28, Markarth, end of the
Okay,
Dark Heart of Skyrim. We got lots of stuff. For item sets, there's going to be 17 new item sets in this update.
That's a lot.
That includes overland sets, crafted sets. The arena has both weapons and armor, and as Finn was showing, the weapons are based off of specific abilities in those weapon skill lines. But we also have 3 armor sets coming out of the arena, and then finally there will be 2 new mythic items that are acquired via the antiquity system, which I'll talk a little bit about shortly, and maybe show one. But yeah, like lots of item sets. I'll actually give 2 examples of item sets. It would take way too long to go through all of them, but I'll give a couple.
Can't go through all
One
of
them is called the Radiant Bastion. This is a heavy armor set coming from the Overland. And the 5-piece bonus deals 10% of all direct damage done to you back to the attacker, up to 4,250 damage. So this is basically a Thorn set. This is something the team's been wanting to make for a while. So it's like, oh, you're hitting me? Well, you're going to take damage too. Definitely something that I think tanky type players and bruisers will appreciate. And then actually, I don't know if you have me up on the have my screen up on there yet.
Not yet, but I can.
But I can actually show you one of the antiquity items. So both of the antiquity mythic rings or mythic items are jewelry this time. The one I'm showing you now is called the Ring of the Pale Order. You can see it right there. Restore 15% of the damage you deal as health. You cannot be healed by anyone but yourself. So in that running theme with our mythic items is they tend to have pretty dramatic effects, and you can use this to replace one of your other 5-piece set bonuses. We think players will find some fun, creative ways to use this. And we're looking forward to it. Again, as you mentioned, this is all going to be on PTS starting Monday, so people will be able to jump in and start playing with these.
Yeah, for sure.
Ring seems like it might be useful in the arena we just saw.
Oh, yeah. Well, yeah, since no one else is healing you. So yeah, that kind of leads me into talking about antiquity. So this is the system we launched with Greymore in update 26. I know a lot of people have been asking, is there going to be more? Will there be more antiquities? And absolutely, yes. Like,
yeah, first time we're
we
adding
love
more.
the response. We love the response to antiquities. I personally love playing it. I think the team did a great job. And as you're going to be talking a little bit later about an event we're doing related to antiquities. But in the Markarth update, there will be 20 new antiquities to dig up. You still will have to, because antiquities, the skill line is acquired in Greymoor in Solitude, you still have to have Greymoor to do antiquities, but there will be antiquities that are dug up in Markarth in the DLC. And so over 20 new antiquities to dig up. Some of the rewards will include, there's a new motif chapter, a set of chapters that's actually a upgrade of the original Reach style that already exists in the game. So there's already a Reach motif in the game. We made sort of an updated version of it. Both of those will exist in the game at the same time. And so the new one is acquired through antiquities.
Cool stuff.
And then there'll also be a new pet. There's a cosmetic head item. There's going to be new furnishings. And as I already mentioned, there's going to be 2 new mythic items going into the game.
So the pet
Sounds like something for everyone.
Yes.
Yeah, for sure. The pet is going to be similar to the mount where it's split into fragments, right? You don't just dig up the pet.
I believe so.
Yeah.
I actually haven't done it on the internal server myself yet. I'm waiting till it gets to live.
Pretty sure. I think it's 5 fragments, I want to say. We actually have a screenshot of the pet if you guys want to see it. Should we show the pet?
Sure.
Might as well, right? So this is a dwarven scarab pet. You're going to be able to get this through antiquities, as Rob was saying. It's pretty cool.
Like it.
A little different, but
Hey, pets.
matches the theme, which is what we're all about here.
Oh, it looks like its little back carapace might move up too.
Potentially. Potentially.
That's cute.
What else
So
do we have?
That's what we're going to do with antiquities. I've still got a lot of stuff to cover here. There's a lot of stuff going into this update.
There is. Well, you know what?
Earlier you were saying there's so many things for us to cover. I'm like, yeah, I haven't even gotten started yet.
Got plenty of time.
So, yeah. So as usual, we're going to have updates to the housing system. And to the housing items. So for starters, we're going to have 2 new homes that appear. These homes will not launch with U28. They will appear in the Crown Store after U28 launches. However, you will be able to check out these houses on PTS starting next week.
Yeah, it's similar whenever we have a PTS update.
Gina has screenshots of these.
I do have some screenshots. Yeah. This is similar. When we're on PTS, you can check them out, test them out, and then they'll be released at a later date. But yeah, wait, I do have some screenshots, so let me pull those up.
Sure. The first one is a house called. We're not actually going to explore the houses right now, like the inside. We're just going to show what they look like from the outside. This first one is called Stone Eagle Eyrie. It's a manor that is actually located in Markarth.
I love this one.
And yeah, I mean it's stunning. Like our housing team does
Looks
a really good job, and they're just constantly sort of upping their game.
Complete with your own waterfall.
Yes.
Yeah, this is just a screenshot, everyone. So it's not supposed to be moving. The stream isn't frozen.
Yeah.
Right. And then
you all want to see the next one?
Yeah, the next one. It's called. This one's going to be a little bit different.
You thought this one was cool.
Shrouded Realm. This is. I'll wait. Do you have it up yet?
Yep, I got it.
There we go. This is a mystical pocket realm of oblivion. This is of Shalador's own devising. You access this house from Western Skyrim, and the style is in the ancient Nord style that you see in Skyrim. But this actually is in a pocket realm of oblivion. So something a little more crazy, mystical. I can't wait to see what players do with this in terms of furnishing it and setting it up.
Dude, chat is going nuts. They love this one.
So cool. Yeah, it's very Mages Guild kind of themed. At least for me, it reminds me of that.
For sure.
Shut the fuck door.
So yeah, those are the 2 houses that are coming in the update. Again, you'll be able to play around in these. on PTS next week.
Yeah.
And of course, on top of houses, we actually have a bunch of new furnishings coming in the game. I think there's over 100 new furnishings that players can get. Some of those are earned through achievements. Some of them, through the Crown Store. There's the same thing that we typically do with most of our updates. There's a lot of different ways to get new furnishings.
Are some of those crafted?
Yes, actually, it's probably about 40 crafted
Very cool.
furnishings, and a lot of there's a full set of Dwemer furnishings that are based on the Markarth style. So the Dwemer style you see in the city of Markarth, a lot of the furnishings are inspired by that. There's also going to be coming to the Crown Store after U28 launches. We're going to have some new music boxes. We know those have been very popular. So the team loves making those. Like they get to be really creative with how they look, each of them, like the animations and everything. And then house guests, which is a new thing that's still sort of, we're still in the process of delivering, which is, specifically characters meant to be placed in your house that leverage the pathing and houses system that we introduced last update. So there's going to be we have 3 more of those house guest characters coming post U28.
And the first one's coming with the Lost Treasures of Skyrim reward.
Yeah, everybody hopefully will be able to get that as long as we hit all the tiers and they unlock. Tiers like tears, not sad tears.
And those like I mentioned, a bunch of these things will be coming. Some of the things will be there at launch for U28. Some will come afterwards. And speaking of the house guests, we actually do have one small quality of life update for the pathing and houses system that we introduced last update. Some people who have been playing it will notice that the characters kind of snap to the ground when you create a path that's above the ground. Like let's say it's on a ramp, we create a path on a ramp, that when the character gets to a certain distance within the ground, they kind of just snap to the ground, and you'll actually have the ability to disable that. I believe it's called disable align to terrain. So a little quality of life feature to continue to breathe more life into your homes. We love what we're seeing that players are doing with the feature on the live servers, and we can't wait to see more.
Yeah. Hey, real quick, I just wanted to address a couple things I've been seeing. Right now, we are having an issue on our website that we are aware of. I think it's only in certain territories. So if you are trying to get to the website, you're getting a 404 or things aren't loading, we are working on fixing that. Secondly, with the Torchbug pet, we are giving everybody who watches the stream this purple Torchbug pet through Twitch drops. You just have to make sure that your account is linked. Your ESO account and your Twitch account are linked. So those will be delivered at the end of this stream. It might take a little bit for them all to go out, but if you haven't gotten it yet, don't worry, because we haven't started sending it, so you haven't missed anything.
No one's gotten it.
Yeah, nobody's actually gotten it. So I just wanted to touch on that because I saw a lot of people in chat asking kind of what was going on. So if you're just tuning in, we are talking about the Markarth DLC and Update 28. We gave a preview a little bit earlier of the new solo arena, so you can check out the VOD if you happen to miss that. Rob is going through a lot of the items and collectibles that are in the DLC and Update 28, and this DLC is part of ESO Plus. Sorry, I just smacked my microphone here. I'm Italian, so I got to talk with my hands here. But yeah, this is included with ESO Plus, so if you have that membership, this comes with it, which is super convenient. Sorry, Rob. I just wanted to kind of
it's great.
Get all that stuff out there.
Water.
Yeah. By the way, I saw people asking like, "Oh, what are you drinking?" It's water. Sorry to disappoint. It's just water.
Same.
Though. Yeah, right. We're not very exciting here.
Water here.
Not super exciting. Okay, so we went through the pathing updates for housing, and that is part of the base game. So everybody can try that out on PTS. It'll be included in Update 28. Collectibles and cosmetics. There's a lot of stuff in this DLC too. Yeah, Rob?
Yeah. It would take way too long to go through everything. What I can say is there's going to be new weapons, motifs, pets, skins, dyes, body markings, face markings. There's a memento. Most of the cosmetics are part of the Markarth DLC. There is an exception, though. We actually are introducing a new emote for PvP players. It's called the Crazy Reachman. And you'll be able to earn this emote in Imperial City. I'm not going to get into the details right now. You can find out on the patch notes on Monday.
Can you act it out? Can you dance? Whatever the.
I'm not even going to attempt that.
That sounds like a good Twitter challenge for next week.
Oh my God, we need to do that. Yes. I do have a screenshot of one of the helms that you're able to get. Now, this is the one that's tied to simply just having access to the Markarth DLC. So this is a really cool... Don't ask me to pronounce this. There's a lot of consonants here because it's Dwemer. It starts with an A.
Maybe.
And it's a helm. But that's what that looks like. I don't know how... Chess, you were saying this earlier. How do they even see out of this thing?
Does it matter?
I don't know.
I guess not. Not really. It looks cool. In any case, let's move on to update 28. Have some really nice things to talk about here.
Yes. So more everything. I think everything I'm talking about from here forward is pure base game stuff.
Yeah.
At this point.
Yeah. So this is for everybody. Jinx.
Yeah. So we'll start with combat. Obviously, we do live balance changes every update. The team is continually working on that, trying to improve the experience. I am not going to get into crazy detail here. I believe we posted yesterday a post on the forums that was kind of a combat preview. This is a thing that we've been doing recently where we kind of, before we show the patch notes and show all of the details of everything, it's kind of like here's what our goals are, right? It's kind of let players understand this is what the patch notes that you're getting ready to read, here's what they're trying to do, and provide that before the patch notes drop. So I definitely encourage players to check that out on the forums, but I will go over some of the sort of larger beats here of what we're doing with live balance. First is the team is revisiting the major and minor buff system. So initially our motivation here was this was part of our continuous performance updates. The team was kind of going under the hood and trying to make that system more efficient in terms of how it's handled with the server and the client. But while the team was there, and this is something that we've also been doing a lot of, is when we're going under the hood and we're working on something, we tend to also update it to some of our more recent sort of standards. So we have stat efficiency standards that we try to apply to abilities and items, and we went ahead and did that for major and minor buffs. And also we added a entirely new buff to the game, one of these buffs. It's called Brittle. I'll talk about it in a little bit. But
I don't think we mentioned that in the preview. Brittle.
Did we? Oh, actually, yeah.
I don't think we did. I don't think it was in there.
Oh, in the combat preview, I can't remember if it's in there. But the next kind of major area the team focused on for this update was critical hit and penetration. Those two systems. So normally, items and buffs in the game give you either weapon crit or spell crit. We've effectively merged those into a single stat here. So we call it just critical chance. And so anytime you see an item or a buff that says critical chance, that is giving you both physical and spell crit every time. And so the team is also went through and started auditing all of the sources of crit in the game, like looking at where it can be acquired, and did a little bit of tweaking on how that's accessed, how available it is, and what kind of opportunity costs you have to pay to get it. This is actually part of a larger effort. Excuse me. This is part of a larger effort that won't be fully complete in this update. You'll see more in the next major update, which we're not talking about today. But this is kind of the first part of a larger set of changes that are coming. And so we did the same thing with penetration. I mentioned critical hit and penetration. Same thing with penetration. It's just penetration. You get both physical and spell. And you will see the details of that again in the patch notes on Monday. And then the last area that we are kind of the major beats. Again, there's more updates than what I'm talking about here. I'm just kind of going over
These
these
are
were the
just a
major
few
goals,
highlights.
what we were going for. Yeah.
Mhm.
The last thing was an update to the Frost staff. This was mentioned in the preview post that went up yesterday. So the team was basically trying to make Frost staff tanking more viable, cohesive, and distinct from sword and board tanking, which is what most tanks use. But we also wanted to provide better tools to players who actually want to perform DPS or support roles using a Frost staff. So again, you'll be able to look at the post for details and the PTS notes for the actual changes. But I will mention a couple of the major changes here. The first one is that the tri-stat passive on the destruction staff, we were looking at that and determined that we thought it was a little bit overloaded for Frost staffs because it put a taunt on your heavy attacks, and it gave you a shield, and it changed your block to be Magicka instead of Stamina. So when you blocked an attack, you would lose Magicka instead. So in addition to this being a lot of different things on a single passive, it also kind of is something that you might not necessarily want, right? Like I might not want to, if I'm trying to do damage, I might not want to taunt with my heavy attack. So what we've done is we've moved the taunt function off of the heavy attack from that passive and put it on the Frost Clench active ability. So now it's much more of a choice. Oh, I want to taunt. I'm going to do it now.
A little more control over it.
And you can do it faster because the ability is executed faster than the heavy attack. We also increased the shield though to like to sort of continue to keep the power of Trifocus up. The team is beefing up the actual shield you get for that passive. The other change is what I mentioned earlier is a new buff called Brittle. So this is currently a buff I'm pretty sure that can only be applied while you are using a Frost staff. And how it works is if you apply the chilled status effect to an enemy and you're using a Frost staff, in addition to putting minor maim on that enemy, it will also apply minor brittle. And what minor brittle does is it increases the critical damage taken by that character. So it's
that's a nice
again this is
synchronization.
a more damage focused sort of change, so that it isn't just about being a tank with the Frost staff, right? A little more DPS utility there.
That's cool.
Yeah, and everything that Rob's talking about, we go into a little bit more detail in the preview. It's on the forums. I think it's stickied in the combat and character mechanics section from Brian Wheeler. So again, all of this will be detailed out in the patch notes on Monday, the PTS patch notes. So be sure and give your feedback. We'll make adjustments as needed as we kind of watch everybody try this out and see how things go.
And Rob, this is part of, you guys have been at this for a while, kind of slowly making little tinkering changes.
Yeah.
Like throughout the year.
Yeah, for
right?
over a year now, the team has been trying to go through and it's just about applying standards. It's about looking at all of the sources of power in our combat system, where all the things come from, and trying to like make more sense of it so that we understand what the formulas are better and have like more control over how easy it is to get one thing or another in a more universal way. Like if I want to get more crit, if I want to do more damage, if I want more health, like so the team's been slowly, it's not a thing you can just do in one update because there's so much stuff in the game. So we've been taking it out chunk by chunk every update, and this won't be the last one. There will be more coming in the future. But it is getting to a place now where we have a better handle on it. Like I know it doesn't always necessarily seem that way when we're constantly changing things, but there is a method to the seeming madness. So yeah, that's the main things. It's update. It's the major and minor buff update. The critical hit and penetration sort of stat crunching, and then the Frost staff update were like kind of the big three. There are a few other updates. I think there's some class balance stuff in there, but those were not the focus of the update.
Yeah. And the preview actually ended talking about some Battlegrounds changes we're making to queuing, which is kind of cool.
So you can actually, give me just a second. make sure. If you want to bring up my my screen there, Gina.
Oh, sure.
Yes, we announced. So back in update 25, we started an experiment. At that time, I don't know if everyone remembers, but at that time, we had just recently relaunched a built from the ground up activity finder, like the matchmaking system and queuing system. We were still like sort of stabilizing it and getting everything working correctly. And one of the things that we decided to do was run an experiment on Battlegrounds. And how that worked is we basically got rid of the ability to group. It's a solo queue only. And so we've had that for almost 3 updates now, like 3 cycles now.
What's the goal of that test?
And the intent of that was also to kind of observe how players would respond to it, not just in terms of, I mean, we watched the feedback, but also watching how players were engaging it, watching how quickly matches would get made, checking sort of the competitiveness of like the people's skill ratings on the background, all those types of things. And at this point, we're now ready to move on to the next phase of this kind of experiment. And so we are re-adding the normal queue back in, but we're still keeping the solo queue. So what this means now is when you go to the activity finder for Battlegrounds, you can pick random battleground. So this is like the old normal queue. This is, you can queue in any size. You can queue solo, 2, 3, or 4 players. But there's also still a solo battleground, which you can only queue solo for. And in order to try to make sure that we're keeping queue times down in competitive matches as healthy as possible, we're actually removing the ability to select game type. So you can't like pick deathmatch or crazy king or anything like that anymore. And the reason for this is that every time that we add another type of queue or selection like that, it's fragmenting players. And when you fragment, that means that you're likely, you know, increasing their queue times, or you're creating matches that aren't as necessarily competitive in terms of skill ratings, or both. So this is what we're doing. I know a lot of players have been asking for this, going all the way back. Yes, we have seen the feedback for a number of months now that you wanted to see this. So we're going to give it a shot, and we'll see how it goes.
Yeah, and again, this is still kind of part of this whole test, so we're probably going to let this run for a little bit, see how it goes. This isn't a permanent change or anything, so yeah, we're excited to be able to bring this back for a little bit.
I can't stress enough, ultimately our goal is we want, like, when you're playing a battleground, what is it that you want, right? You want to get into a game quickly, and you want it to feel fair, right? And so that's always the challenge with matchmaking. And so a lot of the stuff we're doing is we're experimenting with different things, we're gathering data, we're kind of seeing how things play out, and then we're just trying different things to see what works best.
And with this method, it will only be split once, basically. People who join the solo queue will only join other people who have joined the solo queue, and people who join the group queue will only join people who were in the group queue.
Yes, if you queue for the solo random battleground, you will not. Everyone in your game is also a solo player. So yes.
it keeps what we had with the original test, but also brings back in the ability to like play with your guildmates or play with your significant other if you want.
Yep. Like it is not lost on us that people really want to be able to play with friends. And so yeah, we're gonna give this a shot.
So you have some other stuff that you wanted to show off in game, right?
Oh yes.
And this is again internal server. This isn't live yet, but it will be coming to PTS.
Yep. I did throw an Ice Heart set on just for Outcast. I know it's his favorite. So so yeah, we got some UI quality of life features coming here in update 28. So again, this base game, everyone gets this. The first one is it's specifically for crafters, and specifically people who like to do writs. So I don't know how many times you've been doing a writ and you're like, go to your journal and you select your writ, and then you go to the crafting station and you enter your crafting station, and then you're like, oh man, what was I supposed to make
What
again? And
was
then you
it?
got to pop out, and then you got to look at it. I know PC players probably use add-ons to get around this, but guess what? Those of us playing on console don't have that.
Rob, I feel so called out right now.
So what we've done is, for starters, we have, when you now go to a writ station and you actually have an active writ quest in your journal, you'll start to notice a couple things. Right off the bat here on the left, you'll see that it actually shows the writ that is appropriate for the station you're at, and tells you what you need to make. On top of that, you'll notice there's some new features here. We have filters now over on this side. And let's say it's, oh, well, I want to make sure that I have the items, that I have the knowledge to craft those items, and that I only want to see the ones for the quests that I'm making. And it filters it down for you, so you only see the things you need, so you can very quickly go through and craft the items that you want. And for those who are curious, you'll notice in here I have a master writ for the Cold Harbor's favorite, and I just happen to, isn't that amazing? I happen to have a Cold Harbor's favorite station in my house
It's
here.
almost like we planned this.
Yeah. And it works for that too. So this is a clothing station, which means I could do either of my writs. So it actually has both. So you can click on which one you want to focus on. And when you come over here, it'll actually update based on which quest you've activated. And for people who are curious, yes, this also works
With gamepad?
with the gamepad.
Nice.
Where is it?
Such a nice quality of life
Oh,
feature,
I have the wrong
especially for
thing
people
selected.
who
There it
do
is.
Mhm.
writs on multiple characters every day.
Yep.
Yeah. So, yeah, you'll be able to do this now, both on PC and console. I know I like to do writs, so I am very pleased about this as well.
Yes.
Team did a good job with it, but there's more. We also have gone in and on our inventory screen, you will start to notice some new things. Excuse me. First off is that we have some new filters here. When you select a category like weapons or armor or whatever, there's now subcategories. So if like, oh, I only want to see my two-handed weapons. Or I only want to see
Yes.
my
Thank you.
medium armor, right? Or light armor. So you have that. Additionally, there's a text search. So if I'm like looking for the lusty Argonian maid Matzi, I can just type in the characters and it finds it for it now. Yeah. And this
Super helpful.
also, this again will also work on the gamepad. Additionally, it works with your bank and your guild bank. So now you can search for all these things. You can find items much easier now. Again, something PC players are probably like, yeah, I use add-ons for that, but not everyone uses add-ons. And the PlayStation and Xbox players, this will be something that'll be very helpful for them.
Especially if you constantly have a full inventory and bank like me. Where's the one thing?
So it's funny that
What
you would mention
a
full
great
inventories.
Segue.
Because the last thing I want to talk about here is a brand new feature to the game that we've never talked about before. All you viewers watching right now are getting like the first look at this.
Here's the scoop.
Outside of ZeniMax Online Studios.
Big news.
So we are introducing a new system with Update 28 called Item Set Collections. And I'm going to start by talking a little bit about the kind of the thinking of, oh, sorry, let me bring that back up.
Rob chat's freaking out.
That's okay.
No, it's
Let
good.
me,
In a good way.
bring my
In a
thing
good way.
back up there. Okay, so we have over 500 item sets in the game. I mentioned earlier we're adding 17 more, right? With Update 28. That's a lot of item sets. And
Sure is.
we know a lot of people, you know, Elder Scrolls players, what do they like to do? They like to hoard stuff, right? We all like to collect stuff and
Yep.
keep it in our bags and
Guilty.
our boxes and our banks, everything. So we know that players want to be able to hold on to these sets for a number of reasons. One of which is because, you know, when we're constantly doing these balance updates, with combat, sometimes it might be like, ooh, I want to like try this set now, but oh man, I deleted that set and now I have to go refarm it, right? So, or I have to go digging through my inventory to figure out where it is, and meanwhile it's taking up a bunch of inventory space, right? So what we have here, what I'm showing on the screen, internally we like to refer to this as the sticker book. And what it does is anytime you bind an item to your character, it gets added to this sticker book also. And when this goes live on update 28, when you log in a character, it'll go through all your items, look at what's bound to you, and it will automatically add it to this system.
Now I know
So probably...
Sorry, we're all excited here.
No, go ahead.
When we are on PTS and everybody will be able to test this out, this is for the base game. You will have to log into each of your characters in order to kind of unlock everything. I'm not sure if that's how it's going to be on live too. Once this goes live,
I believe it will be that way on live.
Okay.
But yeah. So when you log in, it'll go through your items. It looks at what's bound. Again, it has to be a bound item. So, excuse me. You'll notice here with the sticker book, it actually also serves as kind of almost a sourcing reference inside the game that we haven't had before, right? Because now, let's say I want to look up, Ring of the Pale Order.
Is this
the item that I showed earlier, right? I can just type that in. Again, we have text filters for this now. There's also filters here, clickable filters that you can drive down. And you can determine whether you only want to show the ones that you currently have bound or not. And then you can find that item. You can see if you've collected it. Now, when you have collected an item, what that means now is you can safely get rid of that item, either by, I guess, maybe selling it to a vendor or deconstructing it, right? You won't be able to trade it to another item once it's bound, but you can safely get rid of it. Like, I'm not going to be using this anytime soon, but I've collected it now. It's in my sticker book. I can move on.
Hey, Rob.
Yes.
Is this account-based or character-based?
I want to say it's character-based, but I can't remember. That's something. Check it on PTS on Monday.
Yeah. Sounds player testable.
So what I'm going to do here, I'm actually going to go back to here. I'm going to get rid of.
We actually just got confirmation from Rich on the side. He's messaging us. He's saying it's account based. So.
Oh, it is account based.
Yes.
Yes. See, now I'm going to get scolded by Rich on Monday.
He's watching.
So, why didn't you know that?
It's fine. Right. It's fine. That was a question.
There's a lot here.
Yeah, so, that was a question that kept coming up in chat. So that's good that we can answer that.
So. I'm gonna, for example, here I'm gonna show you how this works. I'm sitting here looking at the Deshaun Overland zone sets right now, and you'll notice Mother Sorrow is at the top here. I haven't collected any of it yet, but it just so happens that I have some Mother Sorrows in my bag. So I'm gonna go ahead and equip the helmet. That's gonna bind it to my character. I get the message saying that I've collected that item now. I go back to my collections menu. By the way, it's in the general collections menu on PC. That's a U key. It's the rightmost tab here. We call it sets. And now you will see it's got a marker on it that it's new, that I have collected that set item. Now, once I have collected a set item, I can safely delete it. So I'm going to go ahead back to here. I'm going to remove it. And I'm going to go to this crafting station and deconstruct it. Oh no, gold hat of Mother Sorrow gone forever. Okay, but now if I go back, actually, the next part of this is in order to, once you have collected an item, you can actually reconstruct it. And the way you reconstruct it is you can visit a transmute station. So transmute station, you can find one of these in Clockwork City in the Brass Fortress, or you can get them on the Master It vendor and put them in your homes. So either your own home, or if you have a friend's home or a guild home or something like that, you can go there and do this there. So when you go to the transmute station, you'll notice that there is a new tab called Reconstruct, and it looks identical to the collections menu. And so now you'll notice that because I've collected that, it'll give me the option to reconstruct this item. And what it takes to reconstruct is you have to have the appropriate crafting skill. You have to have the materials, which in most cases is the trait stone and a transmute crystal cost. So now there's a new thing you can do with your transmute crystals. And then whatever tempers you need if you want to upgrade the item. So if there are items that you can't normally get below a certain quality in the game, then you won't be able to reconstruct them in that quality either. So like, monster masks, they only drop, I believe, in purple, epic or higher quality. So you can only construct them in epic or higher quality. This item you can get in green quality, so I could do anything I want. So in this case, I'm going to make it epic. And so, and let's make it infused. And so you'll notice that as I update all this, it's telling me down in the bottom right here what my cost is going to be. So 75 transmute crystals, 3 embroidery, and an elegant lighting. I hit my reconstruct button. It reminds me of the cost. And boom, I have now reconstructed the item. If you look at it in your inventory, you'll notice we have a new icon there that says reconstructed. It basically makes the item automatically bound to you. You can't use it for research. It's basically just something you can wear. However, you can deconstruct it. And if you deconstruct a reconstructed item, I know it's a tongue twister. If you happen to deconstruct a reconstructed item, it will refund the entire cost that you paid to reconstruct it. That includes the transmute crystals.
Nice.
Full everything back.
That's good.
So there's no fear of losing the materials that you invested.
It's a lot of transmute crystals.
I see a
Yes.
lot of people asking
Yes.
about transmute
Yeah,
crystals.
so do
I'll
I.
get to that in a moment.
We see
So-
you.
So you'll notice that it costs right now, it says 75.
Mhm.
There's actually a way to lower this cost. And you do that by binding more items from the same set. So
Oh.
let's go through and equip all of these. I'm going to get a bunch of messages saying I bound them all.
Mhm.
And now when I go back to here, the cost has dropped to 60. So how quickly the cost drops depends on how many total items there are in the set. And so if I was to collect all of these, I believe it goes down to 25, I want to say, is the minimum cost. Also keep in mind, all of that stuff is still in progress. Things may be tweaked on PTS. But out of the gate, I believe it starts at 75 for the first item and works down to 25 for having all of them. Also, this system applies to all item sets in the game that are not crafted. So yes, there's PvP items, there's arena items, including the new ones that we just talked about a little bit ago, and I want to make sure it's also understood that this is not additional storage. So this is not when you delete your items, they're gone. What this does is it allows you to, once you have acquired them through whatever sourcing method they have in the world, whether it's a dungeon or whatever, it just allows you to be like, well, I can safely get rid of this. I don't have to store it because I can always re-summon it later at a transmute station.
Mhm.
And so
It's really going to help with inventory.
yes, that was definitely one of the goals here, was to just let people, there's plenty of things to put in your inventory. Why should it why should it predominantly be item sets? We have there's lots of other things players would like to store.
Yeah.
Including transmute geodes.
I have.
So
yes.
players who are looking at the system are probably like, Rob, how in the world could I possibly reconstruct all these items if I can only hold 100, or if I'm an ESO Plus player, 200 transmute crystals? They're all like the low cap. So, we launched the transmute system in 2017, and with the Clockwork City. And the cap has been 100 for all players, 200 for ESO Plus subscribers. And we know that players have a lot of these transmute geodes in their inventory because they're like, well,
Yes.
I don't want to open it until I have space.
Yep.
So for update 28, you'll see this in PTS 1 on Monday. You'll actually notice that we have five times over increased the cap for transmute crystals. So now all players will be able to have 500 transmute crystals, and ESO Plus subscribers can have 1,000. And so you'll be able to reconstruct, if you've collected enough items into your item set collections, I believe we've figured out that you'd be able to make 2 full sets of gear with those caps. So yeah, that's kind of the new stuff here, right? Item set collection system, more transmute, a higher transmute cap. Also, we're going to be tweaking some of the transmute crystal sourcing as well. There'll be some minor changes in update 28, predominantly improving some of the PvE sourcing. So right now it's definitely easier to get transmute crystals when you're doing PvP than PvE. We're going to improve the PvE a little bit, and there might be some other tweaks. And then we're also investigating additional sourcing improvements for the future. We're not ready to talk about those in detail right now, but it is something we're looking at.
You dropped a lot of really good information there.
Yeah.
Chad is very, very excited.
How excited are they? Are we going to do a poll? Are we still going to do a poll?
I'm doing it now.
Yeah.
Well, what is this poll for?
Just asking people how excited they are for item set collection. They are mega excited.
Also, I mean, I want to call out while you're setting that up that it's a privilege to be able to be here and represent a very large team of people who are working on all these things. Both Finnegan and I getting to represent our team on. We have a lot of people. We've been working from home for 6 months. We've got people who are working really hard and continuing to improve the game. There's more coming. Like, this isn't, we have more stuff coming in future updates that we're already doing. And it's a challenge, but we love doing it. And the players are awesome, right? Like the community is fantastic. And so we're just gonna keep going.
It really shows.
Go ahead, Jess.
I was going to say, it really shows when you all put in all these quality of life improvements that are directly related to things that the players have been asking for. So it's super exciting.
Yeah, and I was just going to say it really is a privilege for us to be able to present this information, but there is a huge team working on all of this that are really passionate, and they've been so excited to be able to at least talk about this stuff with you. And all the other things that they're actively working on. I know they read a lot of the feedback. They play the game. They know what people want to see. So it's been really.
We play the game too.
This has been a good stream. Yeah.
If you feel pain, we have felt it as well.
Yes. So before we wrap up, Jess and I are just going to go over the Lost Treasures of Skyrim event real quick. So this is an in-game event, as Richard mentioned in the video earlier. God, it feels like so long ago. This begins Wednesday, September 23rd at 10 a.m. Eastern. It runs until Monday, October 5th at 10 a.m. Eastern. So this is open to everybody who owns Greymoor. You have to have Greymoor access in order to participate, since it is tied to the antiquity system. And there are... I was going to say there are 2 different aspects of this event, which, Jess, you want to go through some of that?
Yeah, and there is a full article up right now on the ESO website that you can check out for the event. But just to kind of summarize, so this is similar to other celebration events that we've held in September the last few years. You earn bonus rewards when completing Greymoor daily quests found in Solitude, and then resource nodes have double rewards. There's a chance for additional loot from bosses. The first time you complete a daily quest, you'll get a new bulging box of Grey Host pillage rewards.
I'm just picturing what this bulging box looks like.
I don't know.
There's so much stuff
in it. And it has a chance to include crafting materials, valuables that you can sell to vendors, zone set items, treasure maps and survey reports, Charis eggs, vile blood, or crimson nirnroot, Blackreach vampire motif chapters, Grey host motif chapters, the new Sovngarde style pages,
A lot of
the
stuff.
Greymore furnishing recipes. So a lot. The box has a chance to have some combination of all of that. And then as far as what you do together as the community, you're going to dig up antiquities anywhere in Tamriel to slowly unlock 3 tiers of rewards. These are super exciting, brand new rewards. So the first tier, so the first unlock is the Horror Within face and body markings. The fella there on the left has that on.
Yeah, you don't get this whole man. You just get the markings that he has on him.
Someone out there just got very disappointed.
Yeah.
Tier 2, the unlock is the Orchid Fall Veil Fawn Pet. It's very cute. Has kind of creepy eyes though.
He's seen some, you know what?
Yep. And then the one you all really care about, I think, or are most excited about is Tier 3. So if you unlock all the milestones as a community, and we believe it, we believe in you, you can do it, is the Antiquarian's Alpine Gallery home, brand new Nord style home, and the Antiquarian house, the house guest whose name is Antiquarian Phaedra. This is the very first house guest that will be added to ESO, and we're giving it to you as a reward. So unlocked items will be added free to the Crown Store, so you can just go in and claim them once they're unlocked, either when you unlock all of them or when you run out of time. So basically when the event is over. Check the Lost Treasures of Skyrim page for the current progress, and note that these rewards can only be claimed if you own the Greymore chapter. So you don't have to participate in the event, but if you have the Greymore chapter, you should. Antiquities are fun. All Greymore owners will be able to claim these rewards as they get unlocked.
And again, for anybody asking, how do I get this again? All you have to do is dig up antiquities, and we're going to have a tracker on our website showing how far along we are with the amount of antiquities that everybody is digging up. And as long as we hit those markers, these things will slowly unlock. Or maybe quickly. I don't know. Maybe you guys will get it done super fast.
And then yeah, and then once they're unlocked, they'll stay up in the Crown Store for people to claim until the event is over.
Now, if anybody isn't familiar with house guests, this is the NPC that you see on the right of the screen. These are a new type of collectible character. You add them in your home just like you would with any other collectible, but you can interact with them, and they kind of add some more kind of life and color to your house. So they're like little, how do I say this without sounding weird? I guess little NPCs that you add to your house. I was going to say people that just stay in there, but so yeah, good
And
stuff. That'll be starting next week in game
on September 23rd. So that is, I think that's it.
Oh my gosh. We just unloaded a lot of stuff to everybody. Just want to thank everybody for spending your Saturday with us. We know this was a little bit longer of a stream than we normally do, but boy, we just had so much to talk about. There was a lot there. So just to kind of recap everything, Markarth DLC launching in November for PC, Mac, Stadia, Steam, Xbox One, PS4. But PTS is on Monday, so if you have an active PC account, you can hop onto the test server and try all this out and give us some feedback, including the Zone of the Reach, Vateshran Hollows, which is the new single-player arena, the item set collection that Rob showed off. A lot of really cool stuff coming. We do have multiple articles on the website that have gone up, just kind of outlining a lot of the things that we've talked about already. We do still have an issue in some territories. Can't access the website right now, but we are on it, so we will get it fixed as soon as we can. Twitch drops, don't forget, we have little purple torch bug. This will be going out to everybody who has their Twitch and ESO account linked. Now, all you have to do is go to account.elderscrollsonline.com to link your account from there. Everything should be fine as far as linking your account. It's just the website with like the news and everything that is currently down right now. So should still be able to link, and that'll go out as soon as the stream ends, and it'll take a little bit of time for everything to go out, so be patient. Promise we'll get to you.
And don't forget, you can log in and play the Markarth Prologue quest right now. That is in the base game, so it's free to anybody who owns ESO. This Prologue quest and the Greymore one are a great place to hop in and experience the Dark Heart of Skyrim storyline if you haven't already. You can do it at any level. So it's brand new free content.
And don't forget, all you have to do is go to the Crown Store for that and pick up the item called the House Ravenwatch Contract. It's free in the Crown Store under Quest Starters. That's where you find it. You get started.
So I just wanted to say thank you to the amazing global team. You always see the few of us who are on the stream, but there is a small army of people globally who help bring these types of events together and bring this content out to you all. So we just want to say thank you to everybody who is involved in helping pull this together and the content that you've experienced all year. And of course, thank you to all of our community for being a part of this year's amazing journey, for coming out to this stream. We're so grateful to have you with us, and we can't wait to share the rest of the content and events, and we have a lot of fun lined up for the rest of the year.
It has been a really good, it's been a great Saturday, but it has been an amazing year despite some of the troubles that we've run into. Tamriel has been a great home away from home for everybody. So
it has.
Just want to thank everybody for all of your ongoing support. It's been amazing having you with us.
Thank you. Thank you all for joining us, and have a great weekend.
Yep. We'll
Thanks, y'all.
see you all
Stay
next
safe.
time.